Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another subscriber milestone live Q&A. I'm here and we are celebrating 30,000 subscribers. So thank you very much to each and every person that has joined along this journey with me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I enjoy sharing these videos and sharing my own journey with intermittent fasting. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm figuring this out along with each and every one of you, but I enjoy sharing the tips, enjoy sharing what is working for me. And the biggest thing that I would suggest is, don't necessarily follow everything that I do, but kind of take some lessons away from what I'm doing and learning how to do slow and sustainable weight loss so that you can have forever weight loss. I say it a lot, we're not looking to lose weight fast, we're looking to lose weight forever. But thanks again. I really appreciate all of you. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the question and answer portion. I had people submit a lot of questions before this video started, so I'm going to start off with some of those. And if you're joining me live and you have a question, go ahead and leave it in the chat now, as well as I want to try something new today. If you want to join me live on camera and do kind of a video conference thing, click a link. It's pinned at the top of the chat if you want to join me live on video. But if you're here, leave a question in the chat. And if you're joining me on the replay, if you have a question that I don't get to, you can leave it in the comments below and I will go back and answer after this video. So again, thanks again. I appreciate each and every one of you. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the questions. So the first question that I had submitted was, how would you suggest starting intermittent fasting? I've been wanting to do it for a while and suddenly your vids popped up. Teach me your way, sensei. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a sensei. At this point, I have been intermittent fasting for 2 years. I think I have logged over 12,000 fasting hours. And the thing that I would say as far as getting started with intermittent fasting, I recommend a stair-step, a slow approach to getting started with intermittent fasting. So what that looks like is the only thing that I want you to do for the first month of fasting is just hit a 16-8 fasting window. So what does that look like? It means you stop eating at 8 p.m. and you don't start eating until the next day at noon. Now you can adjust those times obviously a little bit based off your schedule, but I would suggest that you start with just a 16-8 fasting schedule and don't do any of the other things associated or even that you see me doing, because you got to understand, I'm 2 years into this now. You don't need to be doing at the start of your journey what I'm doing 2 years in. So start with just the fasting and the fasting alone. And once that becomes a habit, then you can move on to some of the other things. And the other reason that that's important is through those first few weeks of fasting, you will go through some hunger pangs. You will miss having breakfast. And I just want you to focus all of your energy and effort in making it through those 16 hours. I don't want you changing your diet. I don't want you starting a new fitness routine. I don't want you starting to take supplements. Just focus on the fast and the fast alone. So that's my recommendation for getting started with intermittent fasting, is just focus on the fasting and the fasting alone. So this question came in and it was, do you drink? And I assume they're talking about alcohol. That's the assumption there, because I drink a lot of water and coffee during my fast. But as far as alcohol goes, I do drink. It's not something that I do a lot, and I'd say there's probably 2 reasons for that. The first one is, generally, when I drink, I tend to drink in excess. That's just the way that I'm wired. And now that I'm getting a little older, I don't like necessarily the feelings of hangovers. But when I was younger and in the army, I would drink plenty. I don't personally enjoy just having a drink with dinner. That's just not how I'm wired. If I'm going to drink, I'm probably going to do alcohol and alcohol alone. And the other thing is, I am still trying to lose weight. And although you may not see it in all of my videos, it may not come across that way, I am conscious of how much I'm eating. Now, I tend to eat a little more because I'm fairly active at both work and I'm working out, 4 days a week. But with that being said, when I look at adding alcohol to my day, that's just additional calories. That's not how I choose to spend the calories that I'm using. But with that being said, I had some margaritas last night. So I do drink. It's just not a daily occurrence for me. more as a personal preference. If you want to drink, there's no issue with drinking and doing intermittent fasting. If weight loss is your goal, you do have to keep an eye on your overall calories, but as long as it's in your feeding window, you can have anything you want. How long I've been doing intermittent fasting? So I've been fasting now for 2 years. In that time, I have lost 60 pounds. Now, over the course of the 2 years, the weight has gone up and down some. There have been periods like over these last holidays, I probably put on about 20 pounds. There was a period where I was going through a career transition where I didn't have health insurance for a little bit of time, and it may sound crazy, but I wasn't necessarily taking as good a care of myself during that time because of the stress of not having insurance. But anyways, so I put on like 20 pounds over these holidays, and those are coming back, coming off now. But throughout the course of the 2 years, I have consistently maintained my weight loss. But I've been fasting, intermittent fasting, for 2 years now. I started at the start of COVID is kind of where I decided to go into intermittent fasting, is because after I got out of the Army, I went up in weight and I was about 240 pounds, which is very heavy for me because when I was in the Army, I was at around 200. So I got out 3 years, put on 40 pounds, and then COVID hit, and the stress of COVID and kind of everything, I put on an additional 25 pounds, and I got up to 265 2 years ago, and decided to do intermittent fasting as a way to lose the weight, but to keep it off as well. How much coffee do you drink a day? I'm drinking coffee right now. Also, I like coffee. I never really drank it black, though. Do you ever get sick from drinking caffeine on an empty stomach? I don't, but I have never really had. I have a high caffeine tolerance, so caffeine has never really affected me too much. I could probably drink an energy drink and go to bed. So it's just how my body responds to caffeine. So as far as drinking a caffeinated drink on an empty stomach, it's not something that has bothered me personally, but maybe something you want to try if it's the caffeine that's causing some stomach issues. Maybe you look at doing some decaffeinated coffee. As far as drinking it black goes, that honestly has just been an acquired taste. I'll put a little bit of ice in it to water it down a little bit, depending. And actually, I'm going to be filming a video this upcoming week. I'm very excited to share with you all. Carrie did cold brew coffee. She made the cold brew and put it in the fridge, and that cold brew is so good. So that's I'm going to do a little video talking about cold brew coffee. But if you don't like black coffee, if you don't like the bitterness and the bite, definitely try cold brew, and I'm going to cover in a video how she makes that, because I don't make it, I just drink it. But cold brew coffee has been great for drinking it black. But as far as how much coffee I drink a day, I probably am drinking between 2 and 4 cups depending on the day during my fasting period. Right now I've literally got a whole pot of coffee, but that's because I blocked out 2 hours for this live stream. So this is my first real cup of coffee today. I had a cold brew earlier this morning, but between 2 and 4 cups a day. All right, let's see. So you may have covered this. If I drink coffee with creamer, am I breaking my fast? So I have a video just on that. When this is over, you can go back and you can watch my video on coffee with creamer. And actually, hold on, I'll try to pull it up for you now. 1 second. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and you can go back and watch that afterwards. But so I am okay with creamer in your coffee while you are fasting, and here's the reason why. There are people out there that would say that, you have to have absolutely no calories, nothing that's going to spike your insulin. But the reason that I'm okay with creamer in your coffee is the idea of not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. Is it the best thing you can do? Maybe, maybe not. But all of our bodies are so different.
I'm going to go ahead and shock you.
All of our bodies are so different. We may respond to it differently. So at the end of the day, my recommendation for creamer in your coffee is you try it and see what works for you. Now, I personally have done sugar-free creamer in my coffee during my fast. But if you are concerned maybe one of the things you do is either do just a little bit of regular creamer, try to keep the calories to 50 or less, or you try the sugar-free creamer. But don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If putting a little bit of cream in your coffee helps you extend your fast out to hit the 16 or 18-hour mark, then I am all for it. I do not believe that if you do one thing bad, it negates all of the good work that you have done, right? So if you're doing a 16, 18-hour fast, that's good for your body. It's good to reset. It's good for your gut health. It's good for all this kind of stuff. And by putting cream in your coffee, it doesn't negate the 16 to 18 hours you went without food. There are people out there that would have you think so, but I think, man, when it comes down to weight loss and healthy living, one of the most toxic things out there is this idea that we have to be all in, do all or nothing. So as far as creamer in your coffee goes, I don't consider it breaking your fast. And just try and experiment. All our bodies work differently and see what works for you. So I have gotten a lot of, I need to block out some time in my schedule. I'll go ahead and commit to maybe sometime in the next 6 months. I don't want to commit to next week because life is crazy. I don't know if anyone can relate. If so, go ahead and put "life is crazy" in the chat right now. Life is crazy. So sometime over the next 6 months, I will commit to like a week of alternate day fasting. But I think it's great. Everybody is going to find different things that work for them. The thing that is going to be most successful for you is the thing that you can stick with and fits into your lifestyle. So when it comes to alternate day fasting, I would say experiment with it, see how you enjoy it, see how easy it is for you, because the things that are easier to do, we're able to stick with longer, right? And that's why things like keto, carnivore, vegetarian, those work really great for some people. And that's because for those people specifically, it's easy for them to do. So I recommend you try different methods of fasting. Try OMAD, try 16/8, try alternate day. And the one that takes the least amount of energy and that you enjoy the most, you'll be able to stick with. Now, the reason that I don't do alternate day fasting is because I generally like to plan my meals and my food and all like a day or two at a time, and my schedule is always changing, so I don't know that I could commit to alternate day. I need to find some time and experiment with it. And honestly, the reason that I haven't up to this point is because I feel like at a baseline 16/8 fasting or OMAD, I go back and forth between 16 to 22 hours. It's very easy for me, so I haven't tried anything else because this is easy for me to adhere to. Thank you very much. I appreciate the congratulations on the 60 pounds. Honestly, the thing that I am most proud about is the 60 pounds probably came off in about 8 months with intermittent fasting. But the fact that I haven't gained it back, because I've lost 40 pounds in the past before. I lost 40 pounds in 3 months a decade ago when I was doing P90X, but it only took me like 2 months to put all that weight back on plus some. So weight loss is great, but the reason that we are all here, or most of us are here, is not to lose the weight just once, because we've all done that, but it's to keep it off forever. But thank you for that. Hey, thank you for watching them. I really appreciate and am encouraged by how much everyone likes the videos, and I want to keep making videos that people enjoy watching, that are entertaining, but that you also get some encouragement out of. Because I know me personally, I like recording the videos. I have always been a journaling kind of person. Anytime I've done weight loss in the past or anything, I like to log my weights. And this channel is a way for me to kind of video journal my journey and what I'm up to. So I like that y'all are getting stuff out of these videos. If you ever have any ideas for a video, please shoot me an email to ifwithryan@gmail.com. Again, I'm doing this solely as a hobby slash side hustle right now. There's very little money in this. I think in my 18 months on YouTube up to this point, I've made about $500 off of YouTube. But that's 18 months posting 250 videos at a few hours of video it takes to shoot, edit, and everything. I'm making probably pennies an hour making YouTube. So I don't do this for the money. I do it as a hobby. With that being said, there are a lot of video ideas that I have, but I can't necessarily make them all quickly, just because I work full time. Carrie works full time. If I am ever off on the weekends, that's my family time. The only time that I really get to make videos, longer videos like this Q&A and like the long videos of vlogs you've been seeing on my channel, I have to do that on a day where I'm off of work and it's a weekday. That way the girls are at school. Carrie's usually at work. That's the only time I really have to make videos, which means I can only make maybe one, maybe two a week, just kind of depending. And there will be some weeks where I can't make any videos. But if you have an idea, email it to me and I'll kind of prioritize them that way. Fasting makes me feel good. My awareness and my brain feels so clear. What is the reason behind that? So I'm not a scientist, but here's the way that it has been explained to me, and it kind of makes sense. If you go back to the way that we were wired and engineered a long time ago, you got to think about it like this. Having food readily available is something that is fairly modern to us when you look at how long people have been around. There was plenty of times where we were hunter-gatherers and we had to fight for every meal. And there was plenty of times of feast and famine. And it was during that period of famine, when you were looking for your next meal, that your brain couldn't stop working, because if that was the case, anytime you got hungry, you'd die or perish. So your focus actually increases during your fast, and that's kind of a hormonal way for you to kind of be on your toes to catch your next meal, as it was. So that's the way that it has been explained to me, and I have seen through watching YouTube videos and things like that, and it kind of makes sense. And I love the way I feel when I fast, which is part of the reason that I keep fasting, is because of how good I feel. Like, I'm fasting right now. I think when did I closed my eating window last night at 9 p.m. So I'm only 14, 15 hours in, but I don't plan on breaking my fast until 4 o'clock today. So I'll do a 20-hour fast. I go to work here at 1 o'clock, but I feel great. So absolutely, I feel the mental focus and the clarity as well when I am fasting. How long from the time you started IF do you notice your weight began to drop? Were you exercising? So the weight dropped off, I would say, fairly quickly, but I would say in my first week or two, I did intermittent fasting and I was changing my diet, unlike I recommend you not to do. And I only did that for like a week or two because I realized it was too much. That's when I stopped messing with my diet and I just focused on the fasting. And I was losing weight every week, a pound or two. But the other thing that I will say is, prior to intermittent fasting, I was binge eating. So that's part of the reason I got up to 265 pounds, is because I was probably eating in excess of 8,000 calories a day. So the weight dropped off fairly quickly, because with intermittent fasting, even though I was eating probably 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day, it was drastically lower than what I had been doing prior. But as far as that goes, I think everybody's probably a little different, and it also depends on how much weight you have to lose. If you have a lot of weight to lose, then you're probably going to see results quicker if you were doing fasting, whereas the closer you get to your goal, the slower the change comes and the more things you have to adjust in order to keep losing weight. Stevia, I'm a big fan of stevia. I think, if you're going to do a 0-calorie sweetener during your fast, stevia is probably the one to go with, because it is not a chemical. Let's see. Does your fast help you to lose weight? Yes. So I am currently in the process. I'm still losing weight. Even over these last 2 years, I have not gotten to my goal weight. I was I think like 213 this morning, and I want to be in that 190 to 195 range, but I'm okay if it takes me a year or two to get there. I started this 2 years ago, and the reason that I'm still maintaining my weight loss and still doing this fasting is because it all starts with a mindset approach of, this is going to take a while and I'm okay with that, and I really am going to enjoy the journey and enjoy the process. So I still am in the process of losing weight, so that's one of the reasons that I fast. It's also, the health benefits associated, the mental clarity. I enjoy the way that I feel when I'm fasting, which makes it easier to stick to, but I still am in the process of losing weight. Have you tried cold showers? Man, I absolutely have tried cold showers. I started this new year. I got a few videos on the channel. If you go back, I was doing cold plunges out at the beach. I kind of stopped going out there because the water is not as cold anymore. It was like 55 degrees, so I was doing cold plunges. I still do cold showers, and I have only been doing that since the start of this new year, and for the same reasons that you talk about, for both the mental clarity challenging, and it's a great way to start my day. So I have been doing cold showers actually. Now, is like intermittent fasting, is cold shower the magic pill that's going to help you lose weight and get in shape? No, but there is no one thing that you do. It's kind of all those little things combined. But I have enjoyed taking the cold showers. And again, I don't recommend anybody try to do everything at once. I think that's a recipe for disasters, trying to do everything, because if you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing. Is it okay for teens to fast? And do you have any advice on convincing my parents to let me fast? So I'm not a medical expert, but I will say through my research of intermittent fasting and the videos that I have seen, there are two main groups of people that should not fast, and that is pregnant and nursing women and children and teens. And the reason for that is, and again, medical disclaimer, don't take advice from me. Talk to your doctor before starting any weight loss regimen. But when you are growing, when you are going through that part of your life, that you're in the process of still going through puberty, and you are not fully developed yet, your body needs a lot more food, needs a lot more nutrients. So it is not recommended for two groups of people to do intermittent fasting, and that is pregnant and nursing women and children and teens. So at this time, I would say, learn about some healthy eating habits, stay encouraged, but I do not recommend that children and teens do any sort of intermittent fasting. I couldn't tell you why. You'll have to, there may be some more research about the science behind it, but it is generally not recommended for children and pregnant and nursing women to be fasting. What is my maintenance calories? So it's been a while since I've figured out what my maintenance calories are. Now, there's a process by which I do that. And when I was doing this a year ago, I was counting calories. I no longer count my calories. And that is because two reasons. One, because I counted them for an entire year, meaning I counted absolutely everything, I measured everything out. I have a good internal kind of calculator. I know, and I kind of eat the same foods. If you watch my videos, you'll notice that I'm eating a lot of the same foods. And because of that, I kind of know certain foods have a certain number of calories in them. But the other thing that I will say is I don't plan on counting calories forever. And because I'm not going to do it forever, I don't want to do now something that I'm not going to sustain. But going back to my maintenance calories, the way that I would determine my maintenance calories is for a period of like 2 to 3 weeks, I would just step on the scale every day, log my weight, and log every calorie that I've consumed. And then there's some calculations you can do. If I eat on average, let's just say it's 3,000 calories on average every day for 3 weeks, and over the course of 3 weeks I lost no weight, well, then 3,000 calories is my personal maintenance. Now, if I ate 3,000 calories and over the course of 3 weeks I lost 2 pounds, or let's make it simpler, let's say I lost 3 pounds over the course of 3 weeks, well, then that means I was eating at a deficit of 3,500 calories a week, or divided by 7 days, I was eating at a deficit of 500 calories a day. So in that case, my maintenance calories would be 3,500 calories versus 3,000, if that makes sense. The reason I recommend you do it that way, by tracking your weight and your calories for a period of 3 weeks, is all of the calculators that you see online, they are just going to take your weight and they're going to give you a basic metabolic rate, but they don't take into account all of your activity, all of the stuff you do. So it takes longer, but for you to figure out what your personal maintenance calories are, you have to track your weight for 3 weeks and track all your food and then do some calculations. And if you want to do all that and then send it to me, you can do that. Again, my email is below. But maintenance calorie is going to be different for every person. Now, I haven't done that in well over a year now. But if I had to guess, my maintenance calories are probably in the 2,600 calorie range. If I ate 2,600 calories a day, I would maintain my weight. Thank you very much, Todd. I appreciate that. And congratulations. I know you're having a lot of success, but I really appreciate, again, each and every person that is joining me on this journey. So do you have any advice on how to stick with your goals? I know I've tried exercising and intermittent fasting, but I haven't been able to stick with them consistently. How do you stick with it? And then just a quick note, I see the comments and questions are starting to pile up right now. I am going to get to each and every one of those. So if you're on this, thank you. I appreciate it. I am getting through those, but they're starting to stack up. So advice on how to stick with your goals. So my recommendation, and I talk about this in my very first YouTube video. If you have not seen that, I encourage you to go to my channel, go to my videos, sort by oldest, and watch my very first video. And here's how I recommend you stick with your goals. Is what's called a stair-step approach. So if you're trying to do intermittent fasting and exercising and say you're trying to get your nutrition right, you can't do all those together. You need to just focus on one of them until it becomes a habit. Now, a book that I'm going to recommend is the book Atomic Habits. I have read that, and it talks all about building healthy habits. There's a link in the description of this video. But you need to pick one thing that you want to work on and figure out how you can do it until it becomes habitual. So let's say intermittent fasting is your goal. I recommend you start with the intermittent fasting and the intermittent fasting alone, because it's going to take you some willpower to be able to stick to your fast day in and day out. But willpower is a limited resource. So if you use all of your willpower to stick to your fasting, that doesn't give you much willpower to be able to focus on your exercising. But eventually, if you intermittent fast long enough, and I'm talking over the course of a month or two, it's going to take you less and less willpower to intermittent fast. Think about all the habits you do on a daily basis. Brushing your teeth, for example. A lot of people, it doesn't take you willpower to brush your teeth. It's just habit. You just do it. So I want you to use your limited willpower to build the habit of intermittent fasting until you can do it without thinking about it. Once you're at that point, then you can stack on another healthy habit. And just to give you an idea of time frame, I've now been doing this for 2 years. I have the habit of fasting. I have the habit of exercise. I am just now 2 years into this. I am trying to clean up my diet. I get so much crap on my videos about how unhealthy I'm eating. Hey, listen, I know I'm not eating the healthiest, but I also know that willpower is a limited resource. And up to this point in my own journey, I haven't had the time or the willpower to focus on eating healthy. But now fasting, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about exercise. So now I get to use my willpower on eating healthy. But what will happen is eventually, a year from now, I will be eating healthy without using any willpower because I've built that habit. So my recommendation is you just focus on one thing at a time. The downside of that is it's going to take you time, but we have the rest of our lives. Today's fitness industry is going to tell you that you can lose the weight and do everything in 90 days. If you have that in your mind right now, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? There is no end date. So get it in your head now that it's going to take a while. And when you can understand that, you can enjoy the process and enjoy the ride. And hey, listen, I don't want to be patronizing to anybody. A lot of the words that I say are just that, right? Sometimes because it's me, right? I've heard people tell me in the past, I'll just do this, do this. Sometimes I want to be encouraging to everybody. Sometimes it's not as simple as just doing it. But if I gave you a piece of concrete advice, it would be just do one thing at a time. I'm grateful that you said one thing doesn't negate everything. I'm definitely working on killing the all or nothing mentality. Oh man, that is so detrimental, is that idea that you've got to do everything perfectly. Yeah, I just agree. And that's why that was my stumbling block for 10 years. I'm all or nothing. I'm going to be 100% good or I'm going to be 100% bad. I'm going to eat fast food. I'm going to stuff my face because if I can't eat healthy, I might as well eat all the bad stuff. Yeah, that all or nothing mentality is crazy. Life is crazy. Faith, family, vacation, and then YouTube. Worked up to OMAD, low carb. Oh, good stuff. I appreciate. I'm looking forward to continuing to follow your progress, Todd. And again, I really appreciate you joining me on this. But good stuff. Hey, what's going on, Connor? Good stuff, man. I've been seeing you comment a ton on the videos. I appreciate, man, all the positive encouragement I get from everyone out there. It lifts my spirits and it makes me. I got to be honest. There are some times where I don't want you to ever watch my videos and think, man, how does this guy do it? He's doing so good, X, Y, and Z. Um, Honestly, part of the reason that I'm staying on track right now and continuing to make such great progress is because each and every one of you, the amount of encouragement I get from everybody that follows the channel, watches the videos, comments on the videos. And unfortunately, at this point, uh, honestly, I'm getting like 500 comments a day because like the shorts videos are they're blowing up. I got like 7 million views last month, but because I'm getting so many comments, I'm no longer able to reply to all of them just as a simple matter of time. I really want to reply to every one of them. I try to reply to all the questions, but man, I still have a chance to read just about every comment. Every once in a while, one gets through, but the amount of encouragement I get from you all is great. Hey, what's going on, Connor? Uh, that is awesome, Connor. That's awesome. I'm reading the comments in order, so I read your other one, but I'm reading this one. But that's awesome that you've been able to lose 57 pounds, and I'm super pumped that you're able to make the live stream as well. I wish I could have a consistent upload schedule, like when I'm going to post videos and when I'm going to do live streams. But as you know, my schedule at work changes, and I got to kind of fit these in when I can. I'll try to give you everyone like at least like a 2-day notice. But way to go, Connor, and obviously some congratulations from the team. Switch to black coffee. Yep. So that's another thing is everything is a journey and a process. So like I used to do dirty fasting meaning 0-calorie drinks, creamer in my coffee. I used to do that a lot more when I was starting, and now I don't do it as often because I don't want to, right? I feel good when I do a clean fast. But with that being said, everybody is on their own journey, everybody's on their own path. Don't compare your beginnings to somebody else's middle. But if you ever get to a point where you can switch to the clean fasting, that obviously is good for you, and do it when it makes sense and when you want to. But yeah, black coffee, I definitely, it's habit now, it's ritual. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? Glad you could join us on the live stream today. And then some thank you Todd's back at you. Everyone is having a great day. So I kind of just answered this one, Todd. So do I put anything in my coffee? A few cubes of ice. I put a few cubes of ice in it, and that is literally something that I would say has happened over the last year. Prior to that point, I was putting my go-to creamer is Italian sweet cream, sugar-free. I think it's made by Coffee Mate. That's my favorite. That is my favorite creamer. Oh, thank you. So I'll have to check you out after this, Dr. Carter. I imagine you probably have a YouTube channel because this question is, how did you learn to edit your videos? There's a YouTube channel that I recommend to everybody that wants to get into YouTube, and it's Think Media. So I watched a lot of the Think Media content, and I actually edit all of my videos now. I edit them all on my phone. I shoot everything on my phone, and I edit all of my videos on my phone. And they're probably not the best videos. If there are any video editors out there that are watching me and want to reach out and give me some help, I would appreciate that. But the reason I shoot and edit everything on my phone is honestly just for workflow. It is easier for me to shoot and edit. I have an app called InShot. It's like one of the few apps I pay for. It's like $9 for a year subscription, so it's a good deal. I shoot and edit with an app called InShot, and I am able to produce the content quicker and actually get it out there. I was editing stuff on my computer, but I don't know if anyone can relate to this, and it has something to do with weight loss and something to do with I've got ADHD and anxiety, depression, things like that. The thought of putting them from my phone onto the computer and editing just gave me anxiety because it was one more step, and it takes an hour to upload all the photos and get them in the editing software. And I don't have an extra hour to spare in my life. So I do everything on my phone right now. And the quality may not be as good, but that's something that I have to tell myself and be okay with, is this idea that done is better than perfect. And the same goes with my YouTube videos. Are they the best in the world? No. I appreciate that you all like them. I'm always trying to make them better, but done is better than perfect. And if I'm known for anything, it's I want to be a man of action. I don't want to think about stuff. So, and the same goes for your weight loss journey, right? Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So I shoot and edit everything on my iPhone. I do have the whole top level of my refrigerator is all full of coffee creamer. Does your wife do IF or OMAD? She doesn't. I would say occasionally. The great thing about intermittent fasting is, unlike keto or low carb or anything like that, you don't have to stick with it all the time. You can jump in and out of it. She'll do intermittent fasting sometimes, but she had a year ago, she had gastric bypass done. So a lot of the times in my videos, you'll see me talk about, if I have 2 hamburgers and I eat 1.5 and give a half to Carrie, it's not because I'm rationing her food. It's literally because she eats less. She had that done last year. And she'll join me sometimes for intermittent fasting. And my mom was in town this last weekend, and we were able to get to the gym together, which we don't get to a lot, honestly, just because we've got the girls at home and no one to watch them. So we're trying to work out together more, but just trying to fit that into our schedule. And I'll show you all, we found this on the side of the road this last weekend, an exercise bike. So I'm looking forward to using that more. And we actually got it set up here in our room so I can watch some exercise biking videos while or on YouTube, watch some biking videos, but we got that. So we are on this journey together. But one of the things that Carrie does agree on, and we both are in lockstep in, is figuring out how we can both be healthy for the rest of our lives. And that's part of the reason that I love intermittent fasting, is because I'm able to fit it into my family lifestyle. I don't have to do something separate from my family. An emotional eater, any advice? So I'll say this, Sanina, and I hope I'm saying your name right. I can relate and I can understand that, because I do that as well, man, in periods of stress in my life. That's why over these last holiday season, I put on about another 20 pounds, was because that period where I was going through and had no insurance, I was stress eating. So the emotion of stress absolutely triggers me to eat. I don't know that I have the best answer, except that I feel like with intermittent fasting, if I do something like OMAD or a longer fast, I'm able to eat to my satiety. And I, I feel like, because I have that food in my control, because I know I'm either going to eat or not eat, having that control is one less stressor. So I have talked with, I actually have a video. If you give me 1 second, Nina, I'm going to find it right now for you. Everybody, I appreciate you bearing with me while I find this video for Nina. I have a video where I talk about stress eating, and I actually had on a psychologist, and we talked about stress eating specifically. And I found the video. Give me 1 second. Man, even just hearing you, and I'm leaving it in the chat right now. Please go back and watch that. He gave some great tips for stress eating, and I just dropped that in the chat. And after this, if you don't find it in the chat, you can go back and search my channel. The video is Let's Talk About Stress Eating. And the main tip there is addressing the thing that is causing the stress. Because until you address that, you're always going to be looking for a coping mechanism. So again, I'm not a professional. I'm just a regular guy. Don't take this as medical advice. But I will tell you this, there is hope. That is something that I have definitely struggled with. Intermittent fasting is not the magic pill, but it has helped me. Have you ever considered doing a complete water fast just for the sake of trying it out? I have. In 2 years of intermittent fasting, I think I have done like 32, maybe 36 hours, maybe 3 or 4 times. I have not done any longer fasts. It is something that I want to do, but like with the alternate day fasting, it's something that I just need to find time in my own schedule to be able to do. That is something definitely I want to try out, and there are a lot of health benefits associated with intermittent fasting and extended fasting. And I don't want you to think that the only reason that I intermittent fast is to lose weight. Excuse me, I do want to just be overall healthy. I want to be super fit. I want to be super healthy. I don't want my prime to be, I want to be fit until I'm into my 50s without a doubt. Like, I don't want to think about slowing down until I'm 60 something. And then even then, I want to be in great shape. I just want to start slowing down then. But with that being said, extended fasts are great for your health. I absolutely will do it and document it. But again, it kind of goes back into the I'm working full time, Carrie's working full time, our schedules are crazy. I just need to find a time that I can commit to it to try an extended fast. Were you in a deficit when you were fasting in the beginning? Here's so much on YouTube on both sides, OMAD with the deficit and OMAD with no tracking. So for the first year, Todd, I maintained a deficit, but here's how I maintained my deficit is, again, there's another YouTube video that I filmed like a year and a half ago when I started talking about how I incorporate cheat days. And I tracked every calorie, but I would be in a deficit over the course of a week. So on days that I did OMAD, I may be in a deficit just because I have that shorter eating window where I can eat less food just because of time and I get full. But on days where I did say 16/8 fasting, I would eat more. So the way that I look at a deficit is over the course of a week, not the course of a day, which is why some days I may eat 3,800 calories. But I also am cognizant and try to aware there are some days where I'll only eat 1,400 calories. Like I'll do one meal, have a steak, a salad, and some potatoes. That's actually what I'm doing today. At 4 o'clock, I plan on having a 16-ounce ribeye, a salad, and maybe some potatoes, which is only going to be like 2,000 calories. But again, I need 2,500. I look at the deficit over the course of a week, not a single day. And for me personally, that works because then I can have high calorie days and low calorie days. Did you end up going out to dinner and breaking your fast at 5 after work, or did you break it at lunchtime? It depends. It depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I will, if I'm working an 8 to 5 shift, I usually take my break from like 1 to 2. Sometimes I will break it then, but sometimes I'll break it after I get off work. And that all depends on how I feel, right? I never want to be really, really hungry for a long period of time. And it depends on how much I've been working out. But it just kind of depends. Let me think. Yesterday, what did I work yesterday? I don't remember what I worked. Oh, yesterday I ate on my break. So yesterday I did like a 16-hour fast. I ate on my break at 1 o'clock, and then I came home and ate dinner as well because I didn't want to do OMAD. I wanted to get in some more calories. So I just kind of, usually I think a day ahead of time. So like today I'm working from 1 to 10. I am not hungry at all right now because I stopped eating at 9 o'clock last night, which is later than I usually eat. And because I'm not hungry at all right now, I don't want to eat at noon before I go into work because that's only going to be like a 16-hour fast and I'm not hungry. Instead, I'm going to eat at 4 o'clock during my lunch break, but I'm going to have to get in all my calories. And that's where I'm going to have the steak, the salad, the potatoes. And then I won't eat until tomorrow. I am off of work, completely off. I'm going to film a YouTube video, do another day in the life vlog. But I don't know what our dinner plans are for tomorrow, but I know because I'm eating at 4 o'clock today, I could break my fast at 10 and get in a 16-hour fast, or I could wait until dinner tomorrow night and do OMAD. I have some flexibility, and that's a great example of tomorrow. I'm going to let my body tell me when to break my fast because I'm eating at 4 today. I'm going to have a lot of flexibility tomorrow, so I don't know when I'm going to eat tomorrow, but I know that I want to finish eating early so that I have built-in flexibility because I don't know what tomorrow brings. All right, one habit at a time, working on fasting next, weight training, then cleaning. Absolutely. That for me that's been the order in which I have tackled my habits. First it was fasting, then it was exercise. 2 years into it now, I'm doing clean eating. Again, just one at a time. Thank you so much. I just started reading Atomic Habits a couple days ago. I love your channel. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, Atomic Habits was great. Now I'm guilty of I didn't finish reading it all. I need to. Maybe I need to get it on Audible. That's what I'm gonna do. Y'all keep me accountable. A week from now, ask me if I've gotten Atomic Habits on Audible yet. I need to listen to it while I do some cardio. I need to do that. You need to make the habits easy. And for me, I was reading Atomic Habits when I was working at another Publix because right now, most of you know I live 5 minutes from work, but I transferred to that store. I was at a store where I lived 20 minutes from work. So on those days, I didn't come home on my lunch break. I went out in the car and I read Atomic Habits, like a chapter a day. But because I transferred, I have stopped reading it. I need to make it easy to do. And for me, that means getting it an audiobook. Oh my God, never have a Chobani flip. I would rather never have a Chobani flip again than give up key lime pie. I love key lime pie. Atomic Habits is really good. Atomic Habits is great. Sitting, you went to UCF. So I graduated UCF in I graduated in 2009. I was there 2005. Excuse me, one second. Throat's drying up. Sorry about that. Hear me grunting and coughing. I went to UCF from 2005 to 2009. I went there on an Army ROTC scholarship. So I commissioned out of there. I was an officer in the Army, and I got my degree in criminal justice. And then while I was in the Army, I got my master's degree in organizational leadership. And for those of you that don't know, or maybe you want to know, maybe you don't, I have been working at Publix for like 9 or 10 months now. I went through a career change. So I get a lot of crap sometimes for working at the grocery store, but honestly, I did it for my mental health as well as my physical health. I was working at a job that was just beating me down mentally, made good money, but it sucked the life out of me. So I started to work for Publix because Publix is a great company. I loved them as a customer. I would love to grow with Publix, but they don't hire any managers from the outside. You have to start at the bottom, which is what I did. I started as a part-time associate, went to full-time, started as a meat cutter's apprentice. I'm now a meat cutter, and I would love to grow with Publix, but you have to start at the bottom, and I'm okay with that because it's a great company, and my stress level is like down because it's such a great company and a great company to work for. But I went to UCF for criminal justice, and then I went to Columbus State University where I got my master's in organizational leadership. Beautiful family. Love the going out with the family to eat type content. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I know a lot of the times it seems like I give you a little backstage pass to filming my videos. A lot of the times it seems like I'm not eating dinner with my family. I would say that's actually not the case. Most of the time I do eat dinner with my family, but because I'm doing these what I eat in a day short videos, what happens so that I'm not sitting down at the table and distracted from my family is I'll film like the food itself, and 9 times out of 10, Carrie cooks dinner because she's a much better cook than me. I'll film the food itself, then I'll film a bite of me eating it. And if you go back and you watch any of my what I eat in a day shorts, like 80% of the time, I'm taking a bite at the counter in the same place. And somebody's like, does this guy ever sit down to eat? I sit down with my family to eat a lot, but I get the video of me getting that bite at the counter so that I can go down and put my phone away and actually enjoy dinner with my family. As far as the going out to eat stuff, we would love to go out more. Maybe if YouTube picks up or continues to pick up, we'll be able to afford going out to eat more. But now it's mostly meals at the house. So I'm good with that. How do I avoid? I don't know if I have the right answer, but I try to, man, I'm all about positive and positive reinforcement, positive encouragement. Because if you beat yourself up, that's not doing anything. To think about what you did right. Instead of saying, I didn't make it to 22 hours, say you broke your fast at 16 hours. Instead of saying, I didn't make it to 22, what did you do right? I did make it to 16 hours. Congratulate yourself on the wins and stack up those small wins and give yourself grace when you fall short. Because, man, nobody's a bigger critic on ourselves than ourselves. And trying to figure that out is one of the things that we need to do to live healthier, live happier. But if you consistently don't make it to that, try to figure out maybe some things that you can do to tweak it. Did I not break it? Did I not make it because I was super hungry? Well, okay, well, what did I eat the night before? I ate pasta. Okay, maybe I try fats and carbs and see if that makes it easier for me to make it to that 22, 24-hour mark. Or what did I have to drink today? Well, I didn't have enough water. Maybe I try to get more water. Or, think about if you consistently don't make it, then at that point become a scientist and make tweaks. Okay, when I do this, then I'm able to make it. Or I didn't make it because I was stressed. Okay, well, again, what caused the stress? But start with don't beat yourself up for not making it. Congratulate yourself for what you did do. What I eat in a day videos and your outdoor home workout videos. Thank you. I'm going to try to film some more workout videos. That just comes down to, honestly, because I'm working out 4 to 5 times a week. And the most important thing to me is not necessarily YouTube. It's getting healthy. I want to track my progress on YouTube. But because of that, there are times where I can't film myself because I know, just me personally, if I'm filming the workout, most of the time I'm not actually getting a good workout in because I'm thinking about, did I get this shot, X, Y, and Z? I try to zone out when I go to work out. And that's one of the few times that I go all David Goggins and go all in is during my workout. I try to bring as much intensity that I have for that 30 minutes to an hour. But because of that, I'm not always filming it. But if YouTube continues on the way that it's going, actually was able to have somebody film that Murph workout, I would love to bring in somebody to film some of this stuff. But we'll see as the channel continues to grow and evolve. But I am going to try to get some more workout videos. And that's actually tomorrow's video. Because I am off of work, I'm going to be intentional and I'm going to film a workout video tomorrow. On Monday, I was off and I filmed a cheat day video. So that's coming out on Friday. I look forward to sharing that with you all. Starting my channel to hold you accountable emotionally to gain back about it. Hey, listen, man, that's the story of my life. And I know there are so many times that we get down on ourselves because we lost the weight and then we put it back on. That is a part of this journey. We need to figure out what happened during that time, maybe what adjustments we can make, but don't beat yourself up for what went wrong. Congratulate yourself for what went right. And some of it you just do kind of have to leave the past in the past. And I know that's easier said than done. But congratulations on your success. And I look forward to checking out your channel after this is over. Breaking my fast now, able to do 15. Again, congratulations on the 15. That's great. Most people eat at 10 o'clock before, like that was me. Most people being me would eat my Doritos at 10 o'clock at night and then wake up and go to Hardee's and have a chicken biscuit. 10 hours later. Congrats on everything you've achieved and everything you're going to achieve. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Aaron. I really appreciate that. Your channel is growing so quickly. Do you consider quitting your regular job and becoming a full-time creator in the near future? P.S. Find your videos so addictive / good vibes. So I appreciate that. The channel has been growing exponentially over the last month or two. As far as quitting my full-time job, there ain't no way. Because to give you all a little bit of insight, and if you're watching this now, it's now an hour into the live stream. I said I made like $500 on YouTube over the last year and a half. A few months ago, I was making like $22 a month. And last month I made my biggest month yet, like with 7 million views and growing 20,000 subscribers. I made $150, which is nothing. I mean, really, it's not. I couldn't. We'll see what the channel does. But for now, it's just going to have to be a side hobby. And one of the things that I am doing with the money is, so like that 150 that I made last month, is I'm going to reinvest it into the channel. Like at some point, I may try to hire an editor. So I'm still not going to be making money on YouTube for any time to come, because if I make any money off of this, I'm going to reinvest it into the channel. Like I'm going to try to hire a video editor at some point, just because that takes a lot of time, and maybe have somebody come and shoot the videos. But YouTube doesn't pay that well. And again, this is a hobby for me. I enjoy sharing. And the other thing, again, if you're watching this now an hour into the live stream, you're a dedicated subscriber, and I appreciate that, is, man, over the last few weeks, you will not believe how many companies have reached out to me wanting to sponsor the videos. Mostly supplement companies, like, hey, listen, would love to have your viewers kind of check out our product. And I'll say this about sponsorships and stuff. Now, that is a way for me to earn an income. And I'm not saying that I will never do a sponsored video, but I'm going to do it with companies that I actually use their product. And if I do a sponsored video, like I would love to have my Murph video sponsored by like 511 Tactical, the people that provide the weight vest. I'd love to have them send me a weight vest, and I will happily say this video is sponsored by 511. If I have them sponsor a video, I will use that and pay a videographer to shoot the video. So again, it's not money in my pocket. It's just making a better video. That's kind of how I would use some of those things. Thoughts on peanut butter? I freaking love peanut butter. Peanut butter is the best. And it's been a while since you've seen me make it in a shake, but I use peanut butter all the time in my protein shakes. I actually think I do have a video coming out here soon where I am putting peanut butter in a protein shake. But it's great if you're looking for weight loss. You do got to keep an eye, because the calories can add up quickly. But I love peanut butter for the taste. I love it because of the fat content. It's delicious. There's not a single thing wrong with peanut butter. Clean fasting is a term that intermittent fasters use to say that you're not having anything during your fast, but say water and black coffee. A dirty fast would be considered a Diet Coke. Now, a Diet Coke doesn't have any calories in it, but it wouldn't be considered a clean fast because it had artificial sweeteners. So clean fasting is nothing but water, black coffee, or unsweetened black or green tea during your fasting period. The Italian sweet cream or sugar-free, that stuff is so good. Hey, anybody that's shopping at Publix, tell them, if you ever feel so inclined, tell them you saw Intermittent Fasting with Ryan promoting one of their products. Maybe I could get Publix to sponsor my videos. Think Media, yes. Think Media, I love all of their stuff. Big fan of Think and their message, and just their way and their idea to help you get a message out there. They have definitely helped me in growing my YouTube channel. In shot, yes, it's the way to go. Done is way better than perfect. ADF versus OMAD. ADF versus OMAD with either calorie restrictions. Do you personally recommend counting in either way. So ADF versus OMAD, again, at that point, it comes down to whatever fits better into your lifestyle. The thing that you can stick with, long term is the thing that is going to be most successful for you. So I recommend you try different things and see. I always go back to see what is easiest for you. Same thing like keto. I would love to try keto at some point, but we've got two little girls that are eating macaroni and cheese and eating French fries and like eating regular food. I don't want to have a separate diet for my family. So the reason I don't do keto is it just doesn't fit into my life. Try different things and see what works for you. Good for you for protecting your mental peace and getting a job. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It was a hard decision, Carrie and I. And the thing that I don't particularly like about it, and one of the reasons that I would love to make some money on YouTube is, in my mind, I keep working at Publix full time because YouTube doesn't have a retirement and Publix does. I work full time at Publix and make enough money on YouTube that Carrie can cut back on her hours because she did have to take the full-time position, whereas before she was working part-time and I was working full-time, and now we're both working full-time. I would love to make enough on YouTube that she can kind of cut back on her hours, because I think that works great for our family. But money is not as important as your mental well-being, and that's one of the things I've learned with, man, I'll learn to live cheaper, but be happier for it. So money, material possessions, I was making good money, but I was miserable. What is my favorite type of training? I would say I enjoy weightlifting and bodybuilding. I got into that when I was in college. I enjoy going and working at like a single muscle group. Like even right now, I can feel like it's hard to tell. In another year, I'll have a physique that I'm proud to bring to you all. I enjoy the bodybuilding physique style of workouts. I just like going into the gym, focusing on a muscle group and seeing the change and progression. The other kind of workouts that I like are the CrossFit style, which those are the two kinds you see me doing. You see me doing bodybuilding and you see me doing CrossFit. The reason that I like CrossFit, not only is it the overall strength, health, and well-being, like just being physically fit, but I love the mental aspect of it. You know, I was in the Army, I was in the infantry, I was a Ranger. I appreciate pushing yourself mentally, and that's probably why I like the CrossFit workouts. And I'll change it up depending on what I'm feeling like. You know, like, hey, I just want to go get a good lift in today. I'll do that. But there are some days where it's like, you know, I really want to push myself, and it's on those days that I like doing the CrossFit stuff. Yeah, that exercise bike was a great find. And then Carrie looked it up on Amazon, and she said it was like a $300 exercise bike, and it was just sitting on the side of the road, just there for us to have. Caroline's been on it a ton. 6-figure accounting job, full-time ministry as a pastor in a small rural church. Chasing money was killing me. Hey, man, I tell you what, that's probably one of the best things that I ever did. Was not that, man, who doesn't want to make 6 figures? I would love to make 6 figures again, but I want to do it doing something I enjoy, and I am enjoying YouTube and enjoying sharing this, and I enjoy working for Publix because I like people. I like helping people. I love customer service. I love going out of my way to give people a great experience, which is one of the reasons that I love Publix. So if I could make money doing something that energizes me, that's going to be much better than making money and having to have all my energy sucked out of me and my life sucked out of me. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Ryan Shopkeeper. I can't tell what that is on your profile pic, but hey, thanks for joining us on the live stream. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I have enjoyed having you on and kind of having a back and forth conversation. This has been really fun for me as well. And again, I think Again, the comments are stacking up. I'm going to get to all of them. Right now, we're at like an hour and 5 minutes. So if you were watching this on the replay, and high five to you. Seriously, if you're watching this on the replay and you've watched an hour and 5 minutes, do me a favor and comment below the video saying, I watched all hour and 5 minutes. And then comment again, let me know how long this goes. But I blocked out a 2-hour time because the channel is growing. And I know that each and every one of the subscribers, each and every one of the viewers is not just some number, but it's a person. So I blocked out 2 hours for this because I'm going to answer each and every question that you have. But if you're watching this on the replay and have stuck through up to this point, I want to give you like, sorry if that was loud, I want to give you like an extra high five. And if you're on the live, it's good to jump in and out. I understand we all have lives and are busy, and you may not be able to sit through the whole 2 hours that I have blocked out for this, but thank you. All right, so the next question, how much weight did you lose in the first few weeks? It came off, again, for me, it came off quicker because I had a lot of weight to lose. Again, I was 265 pounds, and my body is probably comfortable in the 190 to 195 range. So I had 70, 80 pounds to lose. And because of that, I was going from eating very unhealthy to eating unhealthy in the fact of I was eating a ton of calories. I was binge eating. I was eating fast food a lot. I was probably eating 6,000 calories a day. So when I started intermittent fasting and dropped to 2,500 to 2,700 calories a day, I lost weight fairly quickly, but that's because I had a lot to lose. I don't remember specifically how much it was, but I think I lost the initial 60 pounds in about 8 months. How often do you fast? Every day. So yes, I do fast every day. I change it up based off of my schedule. And that's one of the reasons that I love intermittent fasting is you can make it fit your life very easily. So I do fast every day. I would say I'm doing OMAD or 1 meal a day. I'm starting to do them a little more because, again, I'm at about 213 right now. I want to get down to probably around 190, 195 again. And the closer you get to your goal weight, you do have to make some adjustments. So I'm doing 1 meal a day, probably 2 to 3 days a week. I'm kind of transitioning to maybe doing that 3 to 4 times a week. We'll see. I have no idea what life's going to bring. But I jump in and out of my times just based off of my schedule and how I'm feeling. And I would also say probably about once every 10 days, I don't fast. And that usually comes on a weekend. I'll do breakfast or something with the girls. But that's how often I am not fasting, is about once every 10 days. So weekly deficit goal. So this is a great question. And this is something that when I started losing weight, changed in the first few weeks. Now, I said that the weight came off quickly, but I felt like the weight was coming off too quickly, which is when I started eating more. Everyone is worried about their metabolism slowing down with intermittent fasting. Your metabolism won't slow down if you intermittent fast. Your metabolism will slow down if you eat too few of calories. So I don't go for a deficit goal. I go for a weight loss goal. And since the new year, I have stopped tracking my weight daily. When I first started, I was doing a daily weigh-in just to kind of see where I was at. With that being said, if you're going to do a daily weigh-in, you have to be mentally fortified to say, if it goes up, I'm not going to change the plan, right? Because if the weight goes up one day, you automatically associate, okay, something didn't work yesterday and you change the plan. No, you've got to stick with your plan, and you've got to be okay if the weight goes up some days because it's going to come down others. With that being said, I was doing daily weigh-ins and weekly weigh-ins. I was targeting a half a pound to a pound a week. If I was losing more than that, I would start eating more because I want to be able to eat as much as possible and still lose weight. So my recommendation is that half a pound to no more than a pound a week. If you're losing more than a pound a week, and again, your weight may go up day to day if you're doing daily weigh-ins, don't use that. Say from Saturday to Saturday. If Saturday to Saturday you lost more than a pound, if you're tracking calories, go back and look how much you ate that week. And I want you to increase it in the following week. Because the slower we can lose weight, again, this is crazy talk right now. People don't talk like this. The slower you can lose the weight, the better chance you have of keeping it off. because if you're losing weight slowly, it probably means you're not pushing yourself too hard. And if you're not pushing yourself too hard, that means you can stick with it for the rest of your life. So I don't have a deficit goal, but I look for a weight loss goal of no more than a pound a week. And right now, that's a little tougher for me because I'm not doing daily weigh-ins. I'm not even doing monthly weigh-ins. I weighed myself yesterday. I think the last time I weighed myself was in February or March. But I do take a picture every morning. Is kind of how I'm tracking my progress, because I would love to have a time lapse. So I do a daily picture. So I have kind of gone away from tracking my calories and tracking my deficit, but I am just looking for slow, consistent progress versus big change. When getting started from chair potato, is it better to just walk a little? What would be a good starting routine? Yes. So when it comes to exercise and everything, anything is better than nothing. And as far as the best form of exercise, I said that my favorite is bodybuilding and CrossFit style workouts. If you haven't exercised in the past, which that may be the situation for a lot of people, is you don't have a favorite form of exercise because you just don't have a lot of experience with different kinds of exercises, I would say try different things and see what you enjoy the most. Try going for walks in the park. Try joining a disc golf league. Try going kayaking. I gravitate to kind of outdoor sports, but it doesn't have to be that. Try spinning in your house. Try weightlifting. Try karate. Try dance classes, Zumba. If you don't have a lot of experience and you don't have a favorite, try a lot of different things and see what you enjoy the most. Because whatever you enjoy the most, you'll be able to do day in and day out. Therefore, you'll be able to be consistent with it. Start with a walk because it's simple, and then try to just do different things that are active. Listen, exercise doesn't have to be in the gym. Just try to do things that get your body up and moving. See what you enjoy doing, because that's the thing that I want you to commit to, is some form of exercise activity, whichever one you enjoy the most. I've got a friend, Jude Coe. He runs Jump Rope Veteran. You can search him on YouTube, Jump Rope Veteran. He loves jumping rope. If you haven't tried it, try jumping rope. See if you enjoy that. Find the kind of exercise that you enjoy the most, because whatever you enjoy the most is the one that you're going to stick with. Love watching your videos. Tons of great content and information. Publix is a great job, and Meat Cutter is an amazing spot to be in, especially in the short time you've been there. Keep moving forward. Thank you. I appreciate that. And for any of y'all that are in Publix, so I just actually submitted my ROI. I said that I want to move into a management position. So fingers crossed. I want to continue to grow with Publix. It really is a great company. April, love your videos. I just told my husband to start following you. Any advice from couples who want to do IF and a long health journey? Yeah, so my piece of advice, and one of the things that I'm guilty of in the past, so learn from my mistakes, is in the past when I was doing a certain kind of diet, I would try to, that's all I would talk to Carrie about. And I would try to get her to do it with me. And the thing that, I don't know if it's because I'm older or more mature now, who knows why, I understand that everybody is on their own health, fitness journey. Talk about it. Find what works for each of you independently and where they can overlap, because the thing that you're both going to be most successful with, again, is the thing that you can do on your own and do together, do on your own at the same time. Now, sometimes that may mean sometimes that may mean you're both doing intermittent fasting. You may do different things, but find where there can be some overlap, because you do have to live your lives together, but don't try to force what you're doing on your partner. That's my biggest piece of advice, is live your healthy lifestyle. live it alongside your partner, and where there is overlap, try to capitalize on that overlap. So for Carrie and I, that's working out, right? We're trying to work out more together, and we're trying to figure out how we can do that, because while our eating styles may be different, she may not fast. Um, I don't get hung up on she's not doing what I am doing. We need to figure out where we can come together, and that's where kind of being more active is the thing that we're trying to capitalize on right now. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Publix is the absolute best. Honestly, I sought out a job at Publix. If you go back and watch any of my week of eating videos from like a year and a half ago, I was doing them then. I've kind of changed up my style a little bit, but um, when I was doing the week of eating, I have always shopped at Publix, and I sought out a career and a job with them because I loved how I was treated as a customer. And I think the most important thing for me was finding a company that was reputable, treated its employees well, and Publix is a great company to work for. Oh, that I really appreciate that. Um, honestly don't have all the words come to mind, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate that these videos come across and are helping people. I think that's one of the things that keeps me motivated to continue posting, continuing to living healthy. I would be lying if I said that I don't have a little bit of an unfair advantage because of the support group that I have behind me. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And with that being said, talking about support group, um, in the link of this video, a description, is a link to a Facebook group that I created. There's like 140 people in it right now. It's called Facebook Weight Loss Accountability and Encouragement. I know some of the people on the stream now are in the Facebook group, and I'm streaming there as well. But if you're looking for some extra support and encouragement, in the description of this video is a link to the Facebook group if you're on Facebook at all. I post there as well, kind of some life updates, kind of what's going on. But if you're looking for some extra support, encouragement, and accountability, you can check out the Facebook group link in the description of this video. Hey Ryan, love your channel. Any general advice for someone in their 20s? So this is not weight loss advice. This is advice from that. Oh, got something in my beard. From that mental health side of things. I think kind of where I went wrong was, so I loved the Army. I loved everything about it. It's all I ever wanted to do was be an Army Ranger. I was fortunate enough to get to do that. I did 2 tours in Afghanistan, but during my second tour in Afghanistan, my wife and we had our first child, Caroline. I missed the first year of her life. And because I was in the infantry, I was getting ready to deploy a third time. Carrie and I made the decision to get out of the Army because I was in the infantry. At the end of 20 years, I probably would have spent 8 or 9 of them in Afghanistan. When I was getting out, I chose a job based on money, and that's probably the worst decision I ever made. Find a job that you enjoy, and don't chase the money, find something that you enjoy doing, and then try to find a way to make money doing that. That's probably an advice I wish I would have had. Was I had this idea that I had to make 6 figures, and I didn't care what I was doing, which is just, looking back now, being a little older and more mature, is just crazy. Oh, become a scientist and figure it out. Yeah. Hey, so that is another thing. When you take a long-term approach to weight loss and your health, the reason that taking a long-term approach is so important is because all of our bodies are so different. We're all living different lives. So when you commit to a long-term approach, one of the things that you now have the freedom to do is to experiment. Just change one thing for 3 weeks, see how your body responds, and then make the adjustment. The reason you have to take a long-term approach is because, like a scientist, if you change too many variables and you have a good result or a bad result, you don't know what is responsible for that. So you can only change one thing over a 3-week or a month period of time. But when you have the rest of your life to get healthy, you have the time to do that. That's why it's so important to take a long-term approach. Brandon, congrats on the 30K. I started following you a little more than a year ago when you were just at 2K. Hey, man, I really appreciate that, Brandon. Again, I don't get a chance to respond to every single comment now. If I ever miss a comment from you, it really bothers me. I would hate for somebody to send me a comment or be waiting on a comment or a response to a question and not get one. So I already feel a little bad that I don't get to respond to every single comment. If you're ever looking for an answer and I don't reply to one of your comments on a YouTube video, again, please send me an email below. I'll reply to that. But with that being said, I do see just about every comment, and it is great to see a familiar face. I know all the OGs out there, so I appreciate you seeing here. I appreciate seeing you here in the live stream today. All right. Hey, thank you very much, Todd. I appreciate it. You have a great rest of your day. Thoughts on pre-workout? So I used to take pre-workout all the time when I was, I used to take pre-workout all the time when I was back in college and kind of lifting when I was in the Army. I have not been doing pre-workout since been doing intermittent fasting, except for 2 weeks ago. I got some pre-workout. I have taken it now twice. The jury's still out. I'm going to take my own advice, and I'm in that experimentation process with it now. The reason I want to take pre-workout, or I want to start taking some supplements, and people have asked about, what supplements are you taking? Up to this point, I have taken none. I do want to have a lot of muscles. I do. Muscle growth is part of my own personal aspirations. So is supplementing the magic pill? No, it's not the magic pill. Just like intermittent fasting isn't a magic pill, just like cold showers, cold plunges isn't a magic pill. It's something that can help, and it's a little bit. But I'm playing with pre-workout now. The jury's still out, but I'm taking my own advice, and I'm in that kind of experimentation phase right now as far as pre-workout goes. Thanks, Ryan. I really appreciate that. I will let you know as soon as I eat the beef heart. This is not a Fortnite stream. I have never played Fortnite, unfortunately. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I didn't see a single typo, but I am one of the worst spellers in the world. So, and I'm guilty of using talk to text. So most of my comments that I do reply to, I do talk to text. So sometimes they can be pretty funny. Andre, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on, man? Glad you can make it here. There's another one. Andre, I think, comments on every single one of my videos, so I really appreciate that. Oh, this is a good one. It gets me mad every time I see someone hating on you. You're just trying to better yourself and doing what makes you happy, and that makes them upset. Hey, I appreciate that. Honestly, so I got a comment today on some of my shorts. I reply to the YouTube comments. Listen, guys, none of those hate comments get me on at all, because I know that none of them are living my life. They don't see me day in, day out. And for most people, they see a single video where I'm eating a piece of cake or something. They're like, hey, you say you're healthy, blah, blah. How can you do that? Listen, you can go back, and honestly, at this point, man, I'm probably at like 2 months. You can go back and you can see everything that I've eaten, and you can see that if you look at it all together, I'm moving in the right direction. Is every day perfect? No. One of the other things you don't see is you don't see how active I am and working out. But those comments don't get me down at all. I make some of those response videos because sometimes I can't have a little bit of a sarcastic sense of humor. So I think making some of those videos is just fun for me. I can think of a funny way to reply to a comment in video form. I don't ever want you to see one of those videos and think that I'm actually letting those comments get me down. They really don't. It's honestly just fun to make some of those videos. Congrats on the 30K. Love your videos and really enjoy the real life aspect of doing OMAD. Hey, I appreciate that. Again, if you were watching, um, if you were watching this video either on the live stream or if you're watching this on the replay and you made it to an hour and 25 minutes, let me know in the comments below this video. Say I made it to an hour 25. But I'm going to let you in on another secret. And really enjoy the real life aspect of doing OMAD. My plan, one of the things that a personal goal of mine is to have to be super fit, healthy, active, and involved father. I want my before and after photo. I want jaws to drop when they see it. But because I want this to last the rest of my life, it's going to take me years to get there, right? I started 2 years ago. I wanted to get from 265 to like 190. There are a ton of fitness channels and a ton of people that have lost 75 pounds in a year. A ton of people that have lost 75 pounds in a year. If I wanted to, I could have lost 75 pounds in a year. I probably could have lost 75 pounds in, I don't know, 5-6 months. But I would have had to go so extreme to get there so fast that I would have put the weight back on. So what am I talking about? Well, when I have a killer physique, because I'm going to, because I want it, I'm just trying to figure out how to do it sustainably so that when I get the physique that I want and the level of fitness that I want, I can maintain it. I have been recording these videos so that you can go back and you can see the entire progression from where I was to where I'm going to be. The downside is when I get to that point, you're going to have to go back and watch hours and hours of me eating key lime pie and pork rinds because real change is going to take time. But I look forward to that point where, I have this video like journal of the real life process and what it takes to get fit. And one of the things that keeps me going is knowing that I'm encouraging other people, because I want everyone that's watching these videos to realize, hey, listen, we don't want to lose the weight fast. We want to lose it forever. And if I could help other people figure out how to live sustainably in their day-to-day lives, I think that's a win. I cannot play Fortnite. I don't even know. I wouldn't even know where to start. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, I would be lying to you all if I said that part of the reason I am consistent is because I know I am journaling my process, and I know I have the support and encouragement of each and every one of you. So that may be an unfair advantage that I have that you do not have. But with that being said, if you want some encouragement, some accountability, join the Facebook group to get some of that encouragement and accountability. The other thing that I recommend to people, it's one of the things, because I have done it, is journal your progress. Now, journaling could be different things to different people. Maybe you're journaling on your YouTube channel. Maybe you're journaling just with progress photos. Take those progress photos, journal your progress, take pictures of all the foods you're eating, keep a food journal, because that is a tool that I have used personally to keep myself consistent, is journaling. And I just happen to be doing it on YouTube. I love your content and seeing you embrace balance. Any tips to living with balance? Yeah, I think it starts with giving yourself grace. Understand that you're not going to be perfect, and know that anytime somebody tells you that you need to be all in, it's like a false. I don't have the words. The idea that one mistake negates the good that you've done is it's false. It's wrong. So understand that when you do something that is not perfect, it doesn't negate the other good things you have done. So what does that look like? It means on a day where I have some Reese's white chocolate Easter eggs, because those are in the house right now and I'm going to be eating some of those. Just because I eat white chocolate covered Reese's egg doesn't mean that the salad and the steak that I ate earlier in the day aren't doing good things for my body, or the 16-hour fast didn't count. It means that I had a Reese's egg. So understand that just because you misstep, it doesn't negate the good things that you're doing. And try to live, like a 70-30 rule. 70% of the time be doing good, and 30% of the time give yourself grace to not live perfectly. And again, these are all just words. I know they're easier said than done, but it starts with that long-term approach, understanding that we're not going to get to our goal in the next 3 months. Because when you do that, when you set that kind of expectation on yourself, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed, which feeds into that whole negativity cycle and loop. So show yourself a little bit of grace and take a long-term approach. What do you think about a high-carb, low-fat, vegan diet with cycling? I bet you could lose 20 pounds in a month, cutting the fat to 10 grams a day, eating unlimited fruit carbs. You probably could. At the end of the day, weight loss is absolutely about a calorie deficit. It is a math equation. I get that all the time. Like, hey, it's intermittent fasting doesn't do anything. It's all calories in, calories out. It is calories in, calories out, but then it comes down to what can you maintain, what can you be consistent with. And I personally don't want to do a vegan diet because of how crazy busy life is right now. I don't think I would be able to eat enough in a day out of just fruits and vegetables. So then I may lose the weight, but I don't know that I'd be able to keep that up forever. So that's the reason why I don't do a vegan diet personally. Again, I've never tried it. Maybe when I have more time, that's maybe something else I'll try. I don't know that I'll be trying vegan anytime in the near future, just because I don't think it would be authentic to me. I love eating meat. I love your sarcastic response video. Honestly, it helped me to learn not to respond to people with their same negativity. No, absolutely, man. That's one of the. I said, man. I don't know that that's the case. I apologize. Even behind some of the rude comments online is a person. I try to treat people with respect. Now, there are some people that are downright disrespectful, but I have a feeling none of those people would say those things to me in person. So I just kind of let it roll off my shoulders. I'm on day 7 of OMAD. Do you intermittent fast every day, or do you take some days off? So OMAD, I do probably 2 to 3 times a week, and I probably take a day off about once every 10 days. I'm taking a day off, and I just base it off of my schedule, how I'm feeling, kind of how I'm lifting. On days where I lift heavier and feel like I need to eat more, I'll do that. I kind of adjust my schedule. I don't do OMAD every day, honestly, because I exercise so much. I don't feel like I would get in enough calories. And OMAD can be tough sometimes. The amount of planning that goes into it. Like if this is the only meal that I'm going to eat, if this is the only meal that I'm going to eat today, I got to get in enough calories to make it worthwhile. Sometimes that takes extra planning, whereas eating over a bigger window, I'm able to kind of snack, eat a little bit of this, eat a little bit of that, and get all my calories in over the course of the day. OMAD sometimes takes some discipline, and takes some forward planning that I don't always have. How do you maintain intermittent fasting when you're sick or on vacation? I haven't been sick too often. Honestly. So from that, I just honestly haven't been sick too much. And if I do, it's just for like a day. So I just kind of fall back into my same routine. As far as vacation goes, so I just went on vacation with my family, and of the 4 days, 2 days I fasted, 2 days I didn't. And I would say, listen to your body. Listen, not just to what your body needs in forms of food, but what's going to make you enjoy your vacation the most. The first 2 days of my vacation, I enjoyed it because I was able to do like 20-hour fasts and eat super big meals. I did OMAD on those days, and I enjoyed that. The other days of vacation, I broke my fast early, had donuts in the morning because I didn't want to look back on the vacation in that time. Those are memories we're building. I don't want to look back and think, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. That means it's going to be different for every person and it's going to be different for you every day. But think about how you can enjoy yourself the most and live without regret. A great example of that is, I think the second night of vacation we did at Universal Studios, and I ate pretty healthy that day. I had like barbecue and Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. So just meat and vegetables for lunch, and then for dinner I had meat and vegetables. That's because I wanted a steak and broccoli. I wanted the really healthy food, and I enjoyed that day of vacation. I have zero regrets about that day about eating healthy. Now, if I had forced myself to eat healthy, I think I would have came back from that and been like, man, I wish I would have tried X, Y, or Z. I try not to think about that. And again, I don't eat what I want all the time, because if I ate what I wanted all the time, I would gain weight and I'd be big. But I pick and choose. And because I don't vacation that often, I'm not going to come away from that one experience thinking, I wish I would have done this differently. So I don't know if that answers your question. Hopefully that is helpful. But again, it's during those points, there are certain times where I allow myself grace. I asked you all what kind of video you wanted to see this week, and you wanted to do a cheat day video. So I actually did a cheat day on Monday. I filmed everything I ate, and I look forward to releasing that video on Friday. And I was trying to eat cleaner, but I also wanted to eat a cheat day with you all. I didn't want to just talk about a cheat day. I actually wanted to do it. So on Monday, I had a cheat day where I ate fast food, wings, Cheesecake Factory. I ate a lot of food, but I knew that it was just going to be that one day. So I just kind of moved on with it. You can't live with regret either. So hopefully that is helpful. Keep being yourself. I love. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Lower the fat content in your insulin will respond better, and your mitochondrial function will improve. The fat you eat is and the fat you wear. Yeah, that's fair. At some point I want to do a video where, again, hold me accountable. A week or two from now, ask me in the comments of the video if I've made my doctor's appointment yet. I haven't been to the doctor in like 2 or 3 years, honestly, just because I have ADHD and I struggle with executive function, getting things done around the house. If you can relate, type ADHD in the chat. I need to make a doctor's appointment because I do want to get my blood levels checked. That is something that I want to see where I'm at. So based on my experience, breakfast seems the easiest meal for me to keep. Works for me, at least. Absolutely. Do what works for you. There have been times where I've skipped dinner, and that's because I want to eat breakfast. So if I skip dinner tonight, that means I can eat breakfast in the morning and still fast, but that'll change based off of my schedule. Think about the 10 times of fruit. So I've been trying to eat more apples and all that kind of stuff. Definitely an area where I can improve. I was wondering, are you the only one in your household doing IF? If so, is it challenging to do it on your own? How do you stay motivated? So I am the only one in my household that really does intermittent fasting. And that's actually part of the reason that I love it, is because it's not too hard. Everybody is different. But for me, I just have to skip breakfast. If I skip breakfast, which is not that big of a deal because breakfast is not a big thing at our household, like we're not all sitting down to eat breakfast 5 days of the week. The girls are going to school, Carrie's working, I'm working. So I just miss breakfast, but then I never have to miss dinner with my family. So that's why for me, I think it actually works easier than say like a keto or some sort of dietary restriction way of eating, because at that point you may not all be able to eat the same things. And I think that separates you more. As if I got to cook 2 meals. This is for you all, this is for me. But intermittent fasting is actually going pretty well for being the only one in the household that's doing it consistently. I like intermittent fasting for that reason. Egg. I need to eat more eggs. I kind of have cut out breakfast foods a little bit since intermittent fasting, but eggs is one of the things, I think, a source of protein that I'm going to try to get some more of. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, and then substitute breakfast with coffee. Absolutely. That's kind of like the easiest thing to do. This is my breakfast right now. All right, everybody. So we are at an hour and 40 minutes, and I think that is the last of the questions. So I appreciate you joining me on the live stream today. If you have any questions and you're watching this on the replay, please leave them in the comments below. And if you watched the whole thing, be sure to comment, "I watched the whole thing," and I'll be sure to shout you out in a future video because you were just freaking awesome. Hey, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you to each and every one of you. That have joined me today and are joining me on this journey. Hey, I look forward to continuing to grow the channel and share my experience with intermittent fasting and encouraging each and every one of you to find a way to live healthy and live sustainably that you can do for the rest of your life. Remember, we're not looking to lose weight fast. We're looking to lose weight forever. Thanks again. And if you want to watch some more videos, I'll leave some on the screen now, and I'll catch you in the next video.